Hi everyone, my name is Sean Patel and I'm the founder of 2400 Expert. And in this video, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about our online ACT prep courses. So I'll start off by telling you a little bit more about myself. Back when I was in high school, I raised my own score from average to perfect, and my perfect SAT score completely changed my life. I received $250,000 in college scholarships. I received admission into prestigious universities, and I even got to meet the President of the United States. Since then, I went on to write #1 best-selling SAT and ACT books, and I'm also currently an MD MBA student at both Yale and USC. But most importantly, I started 2400 Expert, which originally we started as just ACT or SAT prep courses, 6-week SAT prep courses. But we've expanded that now to do 6-week ACT prep courses in which students meet with instructors twice a week for 3 hours for ACT instruction. And once on the weekends, they take a practice ACT exam. So it's a total of 10 hours a week for 6 weeks, or 60 hours total. There's also homework in between that. Now, I developed this ACT prep course with the help of a perfect score ACT student, Maria Filsinger. She's an MD PhD student at Stanford, so she has quite the resume herself. So to tell you a little bit more about our ACT prep courses, I'll start off by just answering probably the most commonly asked question we get from parents regarding the ACT, which is, when should your child start studying for the ACT? Well, the answer to this question is really as soon as possible. So I know a lot of students wait until spring of their junior year or even fall of their senior year before prepping for the ACT. The problem with waiting this long is that these are usually the most busy times of high school for students. If you think about spring of your junior year, it's full of AP exams and finals. And if you think about fall of your senior year, that's full of college admissions applications. So to try to squeeze in ACT prep during that time, well, it's not impossible. Many students do it. It's not exactly easy, right? Like you have to really be on top of time management, and you have to put a lot of effort in. So what I recommend, so that you're not sort of procrastinating to the end and cramming everything, is to start earlier. If you have the chance, try to start your ACT prep earlier. I personally started my SAT prep as a sophomore, and what we've seen over the past 5 years at 2400 Expert is that students who start studying for the ACT as freshmen or sophomores typically do the best. So they get the highest scores, they get into the best universities, they win the most scholarships. Um, in addition, so let's talk about our online ACT prep class. So that location is actually just in this location that you're watching now, right? It's in a virtual classroom where we can run our ACT PowerPoints, just as you're watching the slide here. I can load up a whiteboard and write on it just like I would in a traditional classroom. You can interact with me just like you would in a traditional classroom through the chat box. And the nice thing is you don't need any special equipment. Any computer or laptop or tablet with an internet connection is plenty for you to access our virtual classroom and participate in our ACT prep courses. Our instructor is also awesome. It's Chelsea Sandridge. She scored in the 99th percentile on the ACT herself, and she's really a rock star. She loves teaching students. So one thing I wanted to cover with respect to ACT prep that many students or parents and students don't realize is scholarships. So everyone knows that a high ACT score can get you into a great college. But what everyone doesn't realize is that a high ACT score can also win you a lot of scholarships. So I personally applied for 100 scholarships my senior year of high school, and I ended up winning 20 of them. And that amounted to $250,000 from companies like Coca-Cola, Toyota, McDonald's, Best Buy, Lowe's. And what I realized was the secret to winning scholarships was really to apply for local scholarships, meaning scholarships that are open to students in your or that are open to students in your city or state. The reason that these scholarships are easier to win is because the applicant pool is much smaller, right? And so, if you apply for a scholarship that's only open to students in your state, you've already reduced the competition down by at least 50 times, right? And so, don't waste your time going on these big scholarship search engines like FastWeb and applying for these big national scholarships. I did that in high school and I had a pretty stellar resume. I mean, perfect SAT score, valedictorian, great extracurriculars, and I still couldn't win many of them. So I say save your effort, time, money, and energy and apply for local scholarships that are you're more likely to win. All right, and so finally, why should you take an ACT online course with us in February and March as opposed to later on during the year? So we have courses all throughout the year, but I think February and March is a good time to take it because typically there's not a lot of other exams during this time, right? So if you think about it, AP exams are in May and finals are in June usually. And so if you try to take the ACT during May or June, you're gonna have a lot to do, right? You have to do AP exams, you have to do ACT prep, you gotta do finals prep. And so it's much easier to focus on the ACT now in February and March, take your ACT in April or May, and then focus or take your ACT in April, and then focus on your AP exams in May and your finals in June, right? And so spread out your testing and preparation as much as you can. And so hopefully we see you guys in our February, March online ACT prep course very soon. I wish you guys all the best of luck with your ACT goals, college goals, and scholarships. All right, guys. Bye. Thanks.